At your workplace, what is the kind of communication, the quality of communication that you're having with people around that impacts your relationships, right? So in this video, I want to talk about mindful communication at workplace. Yeah, bringing mindfulness to that communication. अब उससे क्या होगा, क्यों जरूरी है और कैसे किया जाए? How do you bring in that mindfulness to your communication so that you can have powerful relationships? Hi, I'm Aastha Tatia, daughter of two rock-solid pillars, mother to a lovely daughter, wife of a humor king, an engineer, MBA, corporate executive turned anchor person, now an author and a happiness coach, helping corporate leaders build deep connections and meaningful relationships in their organizations. If you're able to relate with this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not done it already. Yeah. So, I was just thinking of how can mindfulness apply to communication? So I was thinking from a communication perspective, and then I thought, what do we miss out on? Why is it that what we communicate doesn't land the way it should be? Or despite that communication, we don't have powerful relationships. So what's missing? So clearly there are certain do's, don'ts, certain things which are not working out well. So then if we can bring in mindfulness, now what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is being in the moment, like completely here right now. So if I am communicating with you, then I have my complete attention here right now in this moment with you. Yeah. Now you may think ये कैसे possible है, क्योंकि इतना कुछ चलता है, especially हम workplace की बात कर रहे हैं, तो बहुत सारी चीजें चलती है. There are so many tasks. So how do you really think of just that one thing? Well, that's the whole thing. When I'm not doing that, when there is so much that's going on here, then we tend to, communicate from a place of survival. अच्छा ठीक है, मुझे ये बात करनी है, मैं कभी कभी भूल गया क्या बोलना चाह रहा था, और मे बी नो आई डू रिमेंबर, बट देन आई डिड कम्युनिकेट, द अदर पर्सन डिडंट अंडरस्टैंड, सो देयर वाज अ गैप, and then you don't clarify, and then it just piles on, and at times you withdraw. You think, no, it's not working out, the other person is just not understanding, and then you tend to label people. And that's how the gaps start to increase, right? And communication, we all understand, is fundamental. It is foundational to relationships, right? Anything, you cannot mind read, you cannot really predict what the other person is thinking or how he felt about a certain situation. You have only one way to figure that out, and that is communication, right? Now if you are not doing that powerfully, intentionally, then you're missing the bus. So what can you do? How do you do that mindful communication, right? So the first, I think the very, very important thing is that when you plan to have a communication with anybody, then there are, the moment you are aware of what the communication is going to be, yeah, which means what's the agenda? I'm not going to bring 10 things there, or maybe I know I'm going to talk about this and then I start talking about 10 other things, or 10 things are playing on my mind. No, if I can be clear that this is one thing right now I want to go and have a conversation about, it is critical. What is my context? What is my agenda? What is the outcome that I am thinking of? When I plan all of this, then when I go and have that communication, right, because I have prepared here mentally for that communication, then my body language, my whole way of being, right, my words, choice of words, everything is, it's more controlled. I'm more mindful. मुझे पता होता है कि मैं क्या चाह रहा हूँ या चाह रही हूँ, right? And in that case, जो मैसेज आप देना चाह रहे हो वो वैसे ही लैंड भी करता है. That's one big thing गैप में. So वो वैसे ही लैंड करता है. So when you're doing that, you have a powerful communication, right? So very, very important, have your context in place, be clear on why you're having the conversation, what's the agenda, kya baat karni hai. Once you're done with it, maybe you can proceed with 5 other things. You can do that, right? But that's what needs to be done, and then what's going to be the follow-up, how are we going to take it further. Yeah. And what also happens is जब आप mindful होते हो, which means you are completely with the other person, you're there in that moment, right? When you're with the other person, then you also understand his emotions. You're observing the person. It's not just hearing कि अच्छा वो जो बोल रहा है मेरे कानों में पड़ रहा है. No, you get the feeling behind it, you get the emotions. And you will get a pulse or vibe that there is something missing, something that the person is not complete about. When you get that, you can really do something about it there. Do you think there's something that we are missing out on? Do you think, is there any other way we can really look at it? You can ask certain questions which will feel the other person important, his opinion matters, and all of these things, right? So what we usually focus on the do's and don'ts or the action part of communication. But what I'm saying is, if I can just be there completely, because every communication is unique. You cannot have standard, do's and don'ts. While there are certain things which are broadly applicable everywhere, but हर situation unique है, हर इंसान unique है, हर situation का treatment भी इसलिए unique होता है. If you want to be a powerful communicator, right? And therefore, if you can only be there in the moment with that other person completely, like from a place of understanding, emotionally being there, loving that whole experience, being committed to it, then you can create a wonderful experience for yourself and for the other person. This is what mindfulness in communication will do. Now, imagine you're having such a communication with your team members. You're having such a communication with your boss. You're having such a communication with, your colleagues. What do you think is possible with your clients? आप 100% वहाँ पर हो. Not only will you have more powerful communication, you're going to come up with your focus will be more on solution. You will try and understand what the other person is feeling, and you will also think from a place of और क्या ला सकता हूँ, So when you're completely there, that's the difference that it makes. Otherwise, usually the communication is such that it's more of a threat for the other person. The whole body language is that, because you don't have a context which is powerful enough, which governs you. Quickly something happens, your beliefs are triggered, and you go in your whole same mode of acting and the way of being, everything, and then that just leads to a routine conversation and you're wondering what happened. So I think for me, if we can only practice mindfulness in communication at work, it's going to be a game changer, surely. But like I always say, these are things which are experiential. It's not about acquiring knowledge. It's about experiencing it, and then having your own unique experience is what I'd say. So go ahead, practice that, and do come back and share what your experience was. How was it different? Just because you were mindful, just because you were there completely 100% in that communication. And it could be one-on-one, it could be with masses, but it'll give you that ability to think on your feet, to just be there, to get the pulse, what is needed in the moment. That's powerful. Yeah. Do let me know, what is your takeaway? What did you really like about this whole conversation, this whole video? And what is it that you're going to do differently now? Yeah. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.